Control your thoughts is not just a motivational phrase, it is the foundation of every successful life, because your thoughts are the invisible architects of your reality. The mind is constantly producing ideas, opinions, and beliefs, and most of the time we allow these thoughts to run freely without controlling them, which is why many people feel lost, anxious, or stuck even when they have talent and opportunity. The truth is that thoughts shape your actions and actions shape your life, so the quality of your life depends directly on the quality of your thinking. When you learn to control negative thinking, fear, and self-doubt, you begin to create clarity, confidence, and direction in everything you do. It starts with understanding that thoughts are not always true, they are just mental events. A thought can be a reaction to a past mistake, a worry about the future, or a habit formed by years of negative repetition. But if you keep believing every thought, your mind becomes your enemy. You begin to accept fear as reality, doubt as truth, and excuses as justification. You start to see limitations everywhere, and your potential becomes trapped inside your own head. However, the moment you realize that thoughts can be controlled, everything changes. You gain the power to choose which thoughts you keep and which ones you discard. You can train your mind to reject self-sabotaging beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. This doesn't mean you become unrealistic or ignore challenges. It means you become conscious of the direction your mind is taking and guide it towards solutions instead of problems. Controlling your thoughts also means understanding that your inner dialogue is shaping your emotions. When you think negative thoughts, you feel negative emotions. When you think positive and constructive thoughts, you feel calm, confident, and motivated. This emotional shift directly impacts your actions. A person who thinks, "I can't," will hesitate, procrastinate, and eventually give up. A person who thinks, "I can learn," will take action, even if the first attempt fails, because the mind becomes focused on growth rather than fear. The most powerful part is that controlling your thoughts creates clarity. When your mind is free from constant negative chatter, you can think clearly, plan wisely, and make better decisions. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and you develop the courage to take action even when the outcome is uncertain. Clarity also builds direction. Instead of drifting through life reacting to circumstances, you start living with purpose. Your actions become intentional, and every step you take aligns with your goals. Confidence naturally grows because you no longer depend on external validation or temporary motivation. You become your own source of strength. Every time you choose a positive thought over a negative one, you train your brain and reinforce a new mental pattern. Over time, this pattern becomes your default mindset, and your life changes quietly but powerfully. The key to mastering your thoughts is consistency. It requires daily mental training like meditation, journaling, positive affirmations, or simply observing your thoughts without judgment. You must become aware of the moments when fear and doubt enter your mind and immediately replace them with empowering thoughts. It may feel difficult at first because your mind is used to negative thinking, but with repetition, your brain rewires itself. You begin to respond to challenges with calmness and clarity, not panic and confusion. Ultimately, controlling your thoughts is not about controlling the world. It is about controlling your inner world. And when you master your inner world, you master your life, because your thoughts determine your habits determine your actions, and your actions determine your destiny. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think it means strict rules, harsh self-control, or forcing yourself to do things you hate. But true discipline is not punishment, it is a form of freedom. It is the power to choose what you want most over what you want now. When you train your mind to stay consistent, even when motivation fades, you gain control over your habits, time, and future. This is why discipline creates freedom, because it removes the chaos of impulsive decisions and replaces it with the power of intentional choices. At first, discipline may feel restrictive because it asks you to do what is necessary rather than what is comfortable. You wake up early, exercise, study, work, or practice even when you don't feel like it. This is where most people fail. They wait for motivation, believing that motivation will push them forward. But motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes like a wave. If you depend on it, you will always be stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping. Discipline, however, is consistent. It becomes a habit, and habits shape your life. When your mind is trained to stay disciplined, you stop being controlled by emotions. You learn to act even when you feel tired, bored, or scared. This is the real power of discipline. It makes you reliable. You become the kind of person who shows up, regardless of circumstances. And when you consistently show up, you build momentum. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. The freedom that comes from discipline is not immediate, it is gradual. But once it becomes a part of your life, it changes everything. You no longer waste time on distractions because your mind knows what matters. You no longer procrastinate because you have a plan and you follow it. You no longer feel anxious about the future because you are building it through daily effort. Discipline also gives you control over your habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They determine how you spend your time, how you treat your body, and how you respond to challenges. If your habits are weak or inconsistent, your life becomes unstable. But when discipline strengthens your habits, your life becomes stable and predictable. You wake up with purpose, you work with focus, and you end your day with satisfaction. Over time, discipline creates a sense of inner strength that motivation cannot match. Motivation may inspire you, but discipline sustains you. Discipline teaches your mind that discomfort is temporary and that long-term goals are worth the temporary sacrifice. This mindset gradually changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and fails. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. This shift is powerful because identity shapes behavior. When you believe you are a disciplined person, you naturally act in disciplined ways. Another important aspect of discipline is time control. People often complain about lack of time, but the truth is that time is a constant. It is how we use it that varies. Discipline helps you use time wisely. Instead of spending hours scrolling, you spend time learning, working, and improving. Instead of delaying tasks, you complete them. This control over time gives you freedom because you stop feeling rushed, stressed, or overwhelmed. You begin to manage your day rather than letting the day manage you. Discipline also protects your future. When you practice discipline today, you build the future you desire. Every small decision becomes an investment. Whether it is saving money, studying, exercising, or practicing a skill, discipline turns small actions into long-term success. It makes you consistent, which is the real secret of achievement. People who succeed are not necessarily more talented. They are more disciplined, they keep going when others quit. They work quietly while others waste time. They understand that success is not a one-time event, but a result of daily commitment. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. You will have bad days, you will feel tired, you will make mistakes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It gives you the strength to continue even when progress is slow. And this is the freedom. Discipline provides freedom from the cycle of stopping and restarting. In the end, discipline creates freedom because it gives you control over your life. It helps you build habits that support your goals, manage your time wisely, and shape your future through daily action. When your mind is trained to stay consistent, you become unstoppable. You no longer depend on temporary feelings or external circumstances. You become the master of your destiny, and that is the true meaning of freedom. Focus is the hidden force behind every achievement, yet it is one of the most underrated skills in today's world. In a time where distractions are everywhere, social media, notifications, endless content, and constant noise, focus has become rare. Most people live in a state of mental chaos, constantly switching between tasks, never fully completing anything. They think being busy means being productive, but busyness without focus only creates stress, confusion, and wasted time. The truth is that a focused mind moves faster and achieves more because it channels energy into one direction. When you eliminate distractions and give full attention to one goal at a time, ordinary effort becomes extraordinary results. Focus is like a laser beam. A laser can cut through metal because all its energy is concentrated in a single point. Similarly, when your attention is concentrated, your work becomes more powerful, efficient, and effective. You begin to make progress faster because your brain is not scattered. Instead, it works deeply, with clarity and purpose. Focus also improves the quality of your work. When you give your full attention to a task, you notice details that others miss. You think more creatively and solve problems faster. You produce better results because your mind is fully engaged, not half distracted. The key to focus is understanding that it is not about doing more things, it is about doing the right things. Many people fail because they try to handle multiple goals at once, believing they will achieve more. But the opposite happens. The mind cannot perform at its best when it is divided. Multitasking reduces productivity, increases mistakes, and weakens the ability to concentrate. A focused mind, however, knows how to prioritize. It identifies the most important task, the one that will make the biggest difference, and gives it full attention. This is how successful people achieve great results. They do not work harder. They work smarter by focusing on what matters most. Focus also builds momentum. When you start a task with full concentration, you enter a state of deep work where time seems to disappear. You become fully absorbed and your productivity skyrockets. This momentum creates confidence and motivation because you can see real progress. When the mind is focused, it becomes easier to continue. Distractions lose their power because your attention is already committed to the goal. This is why focus is a discipline. It requires training and practice. The mind is naturally drawn to novelty and instant gratification, but focus demands patience and persistence. It asks you to resist the urge to check your phone, to ignore the noise, and to stay committed to the task until it is completed. This mental training gradually strengthens your ability to concentrate, and over time, focus becomes a habit. Another important aspect of focus is that it gives you control over your life. When your mind is scattered, you are controlled by external forces, notifications, opinions, and distractions. You feel overwhelmed and powerless. But when you focus, you become the master of your attention. You decide what deserves your energy and what does not. This control leads to better decision-making, less stress, and a stronger sense of purpose. Focus also impacts your goals. When you work on one goal at a time, your progress becomes faster and more consistent. You are not constantly switching directions, which wastes time and energy. Instead, you move forward steadily, building skills, confidence, and results. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. They simply focus on their goal day after day until success becomes inevitable. In the end, focus decides your results because it determines how you use your time, energy, and attention. A distracted mind stays busy but goes nowhere. A focused mind moves forward with clarity, speed, and power. When you eliminate distractions and give full attention to one goal at a time, you turn ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Focus is not a talent, it is a skill that can be trained. And once you train your mind to focus, your life changes because you begin to accomplish more in less time, with less stress, and with greater confidence. The path to success is not found in doing many things, it is found in doing the right thing with full attention. Every single day, emotional control is one of the strongest powers a person can develop, yet it is also one of the most ignored. Most people believe emotions are uncontrollable, like a storm that hits without warning. They think if they feel anger, sadness, fear, or jealousy, they must act on it immediately. But this is not true. Emotions are natural, yes, but how you respond to them is a choice. Mastering your emotions means learning to pause, observe, and then decide. It means not letting your feelings decide your future. When you learn to control your emotions, you gain the ability to stay calm under pressure, make wise decisions, and handle life's challenges with strength. In fact, emotional control is not about suppressing feelings or pretending to be strong. It is about understanding your emotions, accepting them, and then choosing a response that serves your goals rather than harms them. The most successful people are not those who never feel fear or anger, they feel the same emotions as everyone else. The difference is that they do not allow these emotions to control their actions. Instead of reacting immediately, they respond wisely. This is the real power. When emotions are uncontrolled, they lead to impulsive actions. Anger can make you say things you regret. Fear can stop you from taking the first step. Jealousy can destroy relationships. Sadness can make you lose hope. These emotions become like chains that hold you back from your true potential. But when you control your emotions, you gain freedom. You can think clearly, even in difficult situations. You can make decisions based on logic and purpose rather than temporary feelings. Emotional control allows you to stay focused on what matters most. It also protects your relationships. People who react emotionally often create unnecessary conflicts. They speak harshly, blame others, or withdraw completely. This damages trust and weakens bonds. But those who respond wisely can communicate calmly even when they are upset. They listen, understand, and express themselves with respect. This creates stronger relationships, deeper trust, and more respect from others. Emotional control also improves your performance at work. In stressful situations, people who remain calm can think strategically, solve problems faster, and lead with confidence. They do not panic when things go wrong. Instead, they stay composed and look for solutions. This kind of emotional strength makes you reliable, respected, and powerful. Emotional control is especially important during challenges. Life is not always smooth. Problems will come and pressure will rise. But if your mind stays calm, you will handle difficulties better. You will see obstacles as temporary, not permanent. You will stay determined instead of defeated. This is why emotional control is a key factor in success. It is also important to understand that emotional control is not achieved overnight. It is a skill that needs practice. The first step is awareness. You must learn to notice your emotions before they become overwhelming. When you feel anger rising, pause. When fear appears, recognize it. When sadness hits, accept it. This simple awareness gives you power because it creates a moment of choice. Instead of reacting instantly, you can choose how to respond. Another step is breathing and calming techniques. When emotions are intense, the body reacts first. Your heart beats faster, your breathing becomes shallow, and your mind becomes chaotic. But when you slow your breathing and take a moment to calm down, you can regain control. This small pause can change everything. It allows you to think clearly and choose a better response. Emotional control also requires strong self-discipline. You must train your mind to stay patient and composed, even when you feel like losing control. This training may feel difficult at first, but over time it becomes easier. Just like physical training, emotional control strengthens with repetition. The more you practice, the stronger you become. It is also helpful to change your perspective. When you face a difficult situation, ask yourself, will this matter in 1 month, 1 year? This question helps you see the bigger picture and reduces emotional intensity. You begin to understand that most problems are temporary, and your emotions should not control your life. In conclusion, emotional control is power because it gives you the ability to remain calm under pressure. It allows you to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. It improves your decisions, strengthens your relationships, and increases your success in life. Emotional control is not about being emotionless. It is about being intelligent with your emotions. When you master your emotions, you master your life. And when you master your life, nothing can stop you. Daily mental training is the secret habit behind every successful person. Even if most people never notice it, when we think about winning, we often imagine talent, luck, or big opportunities. But the real reason winners win is simple. They train their minds every day. Just like the body grows stronger through consistent exercise, the mind grows stronger through daily practice. This mental training is not always dramatic or visible. It does not show immediate results. But it builds inner strength quietly, gradually, and powerfully.